Um, One quick thing that I did get a question on, and I want to make sure I addressed it. Um, the concerns of going to war in the most general sense. And again, I constantly have to give these disclaimers because a lot of recruits, including myself, coming from the civilian world and then coming to the military environment or attempting to come into the military environment, we have this idea of what war is, of what deployments are. When we say I'm going overseas, people automatically picture a scene in CNN of smoke and sand and tanks going behind them and special forces and these unmarked, what looks like Toyota trucks with a flatbed and a 50 cal going out the back of it, and what we saw in the movies and all these Bourne series that's all we picture is just the no man's land, the Sahara Desert with a bunch of guns and vehicles and trench warfare from World War II, and we've got bayonets on the end of our guns, and we're going hand to hand, and again, that could be your experience. Maybe not the World War II, analogy, or you may not be in the trenches per se, but not all war is pretty, and thankfully, a lot of us don't have to see that. Thankfully, because someone else is doing it. There are a lot of jobs that get done in this country and in this government, and especially on the military side, where we just don't see the results. We don't see the input. We don't see the output. All we know is that there's some level of order. In my house right now, there's some level of order here. There's not a lot of leaks. There's no leaks. I don't see any rodents. Definitely no puppies or anything. There's a level of order that's here, but it's due to someone placing that environment in order. So when you think about the military, someone is doing a job, thankfully, that you don't have to do it. So the concerns of, I'm worried about going to war, I'm worried about being drafted. First of all, we must do research. We must understand that a draft has to be signed into law. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that just happens at a click of, snap of your fingers, where we just start pulling people. Come on, let's go. No, there's steps. There's steps. Another thing that a lot of people, it simply comes down to misunderstanding. It comes down to a level of ignorance. It comes down to simply not having all the variables available to you. But if you're a recruit right now, you should understand the fact that we are not at war right now. We have deployments, but we're not at war. We might be fighting battles. We might be engaging. There's a ton of prevention going on. Hence why we're in certain regions, why we're in certain areas. That's the purpose of the military, and at least our military currently. And it's why you see withdrawals is because we were once there or we are there. Prevention is what keeps us from getting to war. That's why, like, if we're in North Korea, or if we're in the Middle East, if you look at the neighboring countries or the neighboring regions, you understand why we're there. Being in Alaska, now I understand why I was stationed, or why the military, why the Air Force and the Army and the Coast Guard are in certain areas. Why the Coast Guard is always on the water. You understand why we're in certain places. Just understanding prevention versus, all right, we're actually at war. So you just be mindful of these things, that a lot of things that are controlling your decisions, a lot of things that influence what you fear in terms of the military or embarking on joining the military, it might be wrong, because all you have, and all humans have, is their perception. That's all you have. You have your perception, and your perception could be flawed in terms of influencing you to the wrong conclusion. So obviously, a quality question helps with avoiding being led to, a wrong conclusion or the wrong answer.